Hey everybody, welcome back to Conscientious Omnivore. My name is Pal. Today I am going to show you guys what I'm doing with all of the zucchinis from the garden. We have so many that we just can't keep up eating them fresh. And you know, we've already given away a bunch and stuff, and we just figured it would be a good time to do some canning. And I've done videos on canning before, so check those out if you haven't seen them. But I'm going to show you guys here, you know, an idea that's a little different than the previous canning video that I did, which was for jam. So what I did is, I just made this for lunch right now, but what I'm going to do is something similar. A bunch of zucchinis, there's onions and fresh tomatoes in here, and then I put some chickpeas that I actually just boiled up in the pressure cooker last night, and just served over pasta. So, you know, stick with me, I'll show you guys how to make this. And the idea being that once you have this canned, you can just simply make a really quick, easy meal for yourself later on in the year when, you know, fresh vegetables aren't quite so readily available in the supermarket, or at least not for cheap, and definitely not like nice ones. You know, these are going to be picked at their optimum, you know, like most nutrient dense, you know, ripe kind of state. And then when you put this away, it's a convenience thing as well, because you have it jarred, it's in your pantry, you want to eat it, you just cook up some pasta or rice or potatoes or whatever, you know, cooks fast, whatever your starch of choice is. And then you just warm this up, throw it over the top, and you're good to go. Got a good, wholesome, you know, healthy meal. So yeah, let's jump into it. I'll show you guys how to make this and have it be ready in your pantry for later this winter. Would you look at that bounty? I can't believe it, but this is actually only about a third of the zucchinis we have from the garden. I got a bunch more. So this is all I have time for today, though. So the rest is, you know, for another batch. But anyway, these tomatoes are actually from our garden as well, all of them. I'm super thrilled. These are just amazingly delicious. I can't even put it into words. They're really wonderful, especially these big ones. These are just really awesome. Just this amazing pinkish color, super sweet, just delicious. I mean, so incredible. And even these little guys are really, really great. We've got a bunch of onions I've peeled. We've got a bunch of garlic cloves, all the zucchinis, a few peppers. I wish I had more, but I don't have any right now. And then I cooked up this batch of chickpeas last night, so we're going to use these too. Because it's such a big batch and I'm kind of doing a lot, I'm going to actually prep all the ingredients kind of first, just so I won't have to be kind of struggling running around, you know, burning things and not being able to pay attention. So the next batch of work is really just to chop everything up and get it into the different piles that we need. So we've got the onions, garlic, and the peppers split up between the two pots here. I'm going to get it going on like medium to low heat. Well, I guess it's like medium heat. And I'm going to start chopping up a lot of the other stuff. I'm going to start with the tomatoes, and I'm going to do the zucchinis last. We're going to get this going with the no oil, you know, sauteing or browning method. I guess I was corrected, and thank you. I think it was Marie that corrected me, if I remember right. Sorry. One of the viewers basically said that when you saute, it's using oil, and since I'm not using oil, it's technically not sauteing. So I guess I would just call it like browning of the veggies, or steaming, or steam sauteing, or I don't know. Anyway, this is going to get going, and check out my other videos. I'm not going to show it to you here. I've done it in a bunch of videos. You just use a little splash of water once it starts caramelizing and sticking to the bottom a little bit, and just kind of stir it regularly and give it another splash of water every now and again. So let's get back to chopping. Okay, so this batch of onions is looking pretty good already. That one still needs a little bit more, so I'm going to throw the chopped up tomatoes in here right now. Okay, the tomatoes are going really nice in here. I'm going to add the chickpeas, and the stuff in the back is ready to add the tomatoes. Okay, so this has been going for, I don't know, maybe about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to add the zucchinis here, and the back pot is also doing pretty well now too. So that one I'm going to leave just for a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to add the chickpeas in there. Zucchinis are in there now. I'm going to stir it up, but before I do that, I'm going to add in some spices. We got some salt, some pepper, a little bit of caraway seed, some basil, paprika, and turmeric. I'm going to add all this in, stir it up. So everything's all mixed up now, and I did forget to mention I did have basil in there too. So I got the next batch ready to go for the other pot, and the chickpeas are in there, cooking up nicely. I mean, they're already cooked, I should say, but they're just getting kind of, you know, cooked together with everything else. The smells are incredible, guys. I gotta tell you, just something about the fresh ingredients from the garden, the tomatoes, the zucchinis. The smells are just simply incredible. I can't even, I don't know. I wish I could send it to you guys through the screen. Anyway, I'm gonna add the zucchinis in here now. So I've moved back the first pot to the smaller burner. I've got a big pot here with water that's going to be boiling. I'm going to put in my jars and my lids in here, and once it's starting to get pretty hot, it doesn't have to be boiling, I'm going to take those out. It softens up the little seals around the lid and just does a little bit of a disinfectant kind of process, but that's not really important. It's more just like kind of like a final cleaning for the jars. And you know, these are pretty much done, so I'm just going to bring them down to a simmer and just you know, leave them there while I'm getting ready, getting the jars ready. Probably should have done this a little bit sooner, but it's just been kind of hectic running around. So let's get that done now. Okay, so the jars are pretty warm now. I'm going to take these out, set them to the side. Well, I empty the water out of them, set them to the side, and start filling them up. So these 4 are done now. The lids are also super hot. I'm going to fill these, and I've got 4 more in the boiling water. Alright, so my estimation wasn't too bad. I had actually prepped 10 jars, but only needed 9. So 9 jars got filled. I've got the you know, the big pot. The water is going to come up to a boil, and I'm going to start putting these in there, and then boil these like whole for another few minutes. So let's get. I think I can put about 4 of them in at a time. So you can see I've got the jars totally submerged in the water and bringing it back up to a boil. And once it's boiling, I'm going to give it like maybe like 5 minutes or so. This is really just kind of an extra precaution, make sure that nothing, you know, on the lid or the air that got trapped inside, you know, between the, you know, the top of the jar might have any kind of bacteria or anything that will spoil the food. So I cover all this in the canning video that I did a long time ago. I'll link that at the end. Definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. So this is the boiling canning method, and yeah, check it out. So I'm gonna get, you know, these 4 out when they're done, and I'll do the other 5, and then all you do is you just set them to the side on the counter. I'll show that to you next. Taking out the next set of 4. The last one is now in the bath, the boiling bath, and you can already hear the little pops happening. So I think it was just this one that probably popped down. I'm not sure. I think it was this one. Sometimes you can hear the little suction being created because you know, the temperature difference. So but yeah, basically you just let them sit out here and cool, and they'll be good to go. So I'll show them to you in the morning. I'll leave this last one in there for the next 5 minutes or so. And yeah, I'll show them to you tomorrow morning. So there you go. It's the next day in the morning. Everything's cooled off nicely. You can see that all the buttons at the top of the caps, you know, they're all pulled down, so that means the seals have been formed, and you know, everything's like vacuumed in there, vacuum sealed. So yeah, got 9 nice, you know, jars of food. You can think of this as really kind of like the ultimate, you know, vegan meal prep. I know a lot of people do like to prep their food ahead of time. I do as well. I kind of cook in big batches to begin with. We usually have at least, you know, 2 meals, or sometimes 3 meals out of one, you know, pot of food. But you know, this is something that's, like I said, really great, really easy, very nutritious. You're able to store your food for the winter and have a really ready, quick, you know, meal. You can just eat this with bread. I mean, basically, like, it's an instant meal. You got a bunch of tasty, delicious stuff to eat here. So yeah, and for any of the astute vegans paying attention, yes, this is a honey jar, and yes, this was from before I was vegan, so I do not consume honey anymore, but I do have a bunch of jars that used to be honey jars, but now they are storing other things like this. So yeah, that's it. Super happy with this. Definitely going to try and do another batch, try and get some more of this put away, you know, before the summer's over, so that we have tasty, nutritious food for the fall time and winter ready in our pantry. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, remember to give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.